Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Art of the Game over here at Cabot Crossing. And this is the show where us three game masters combine our experiences and we share some tips, we share some tricks, we do a little debating, and all about tabletop role playing games, in case that wasn't clear, and about life in general. And this topic for today was suggested by Woody. So, Woody, why don't you tell us what are we talking about today?
Hey, yes. So recently, I started thinking a lot about the bias of game masters, and it's an interesting one because one of the basic rules, I think we talked about this in our very first episode. You must be fair and kind of unbiased to a degree, but at the same time, there is this inherent bias we have because if the GM is having fun, it means they're invested in the story that's being told, right? And if that's the case, then you have this bias because you want to see that you want to get to that finish line, right? And if all the characters in the party are killed and nobody from the start is still there, who's going to care about the grand epic story? And they might just move on to something else. And so, you inherently want them to make it. Like you don't. It's kind of like, are you a killer GM or not? That whole question. But then, like, that is going to influence how the story goes and how the game goes, because you don't necessarily want to kill off everybody. You want them to feel that threat, but you don't necessarily, do you really want them to die, right? And we had a situation with a player who shall be unnamed, who in Greg's one of Greg's campaigns, where he was relatively new, was really feeling the squeeze, and I'm like, hey, dude, it's cool. Greg really does want us to secretly win. It's going to be okay. Just relax. But it's like telling him that also kind of like in front of Greg, it's kind of also not
right,
cool.
Greg?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. but I mean, like
you're gonna die next.
Yeah, and I did it on a live stream.
Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, it is out there. Yeah. So it's an interesting point. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, 100% the case for me. In fact, I'll even say that as a moderately impatient person, and moderately is sarcasm, I get. Not only do I want people to succeed, not only do I want them to get to the next step, not only do I want them to move forward, however they choose to move forward, I get really annoyed if they don't do it fast enough. And it'll even get to the point where I'll be like, oh, this NPC shows up and decided to, suggest some things, offer their help, tell you some options that they thought they could help with, that type of thing, right? And I think that's okay. Like sometimes people forget that if you think something is hard to think about as a GM, in your game, it's impossible for the players. If you think something's moderately difficult, it's hard for the players. If you think something's easy, that's pretty good for the players. And the reason for that is because we as GMs have all the knowledge of everything. We are the game masters, the knowledge of all things in the universe. And so what seems simple to us is not simple to people who have partial knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you don't realize that people just get stuck, don't know what to do, or they're doing dumb things because they don't really understand something that you thought they did.
Or and they forget from week to week.
Yeah, or they forget from week to week. And so it's okay to kind of help them along with that, even if it's like, oh, by the way, you have this on your plate, this on your plate, this on your plate, and you can kind of prioritize in what order you tell them and how you tell them, and the and NPCs and that.
And there's also the point where you are dealing with a situation where the character absolutely should know this.
Mm-hmm.
But the player who is not a scientist, is not an actual wizard, is not a lore master of monsters, though that a lot of them actually probably are, or isn't like, a master of quantum mechanics or whatever that is that this character is, like the actual player most likely does not have those qualifications. So yeah.
You gotta remind them what characters would know. So it reminds me of this one. I just was listening to someone talking about this one classic D&D adventure from 3rd edition, and there's a scene where your characters could go in the woods and see this army, and there's a sidebar thing to say, GM, make sure they know this army, there's no way they could fight this army. Don't let the players go, we could take them, we'll get the whole village and fight.
Yeah.
Because the characters would know there's no way we can beat this army.
That is a tough one because... Well, one, you sometimes have the GM that reads the sidebar while reading the description, but which is always funny. But no, it's like like say, well, you can't possibly win if you tell them that. No, because a lot of players are going to fight back against that, or it's going to be like what you just
I mean, if a soldier looks at an army that's far superior than your forces, you know what you can fight and can't fight. So
yeah, but also the players tend to get really good ideas to come up with terrible situations, But I mean, I think the best move there is to simply show not tell, right? Like have somebody come in who reconned it and said, hey, there's 10,000 men out there, or have the players see it, right? And that and let them make their own decision on that, and they'll decide what they can and can't do, for sure.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's imparting to the GM to remind them that the players would know in life. If they see this army, they don't just go, I can take them all out. Because sometimes players inflate, and they think they're supposed to be able to defeat everything. It's like a Doom game. So you got to make sure that if you want them not to fight it, or you think the players would know, it's okay to just say, hey, oh my God, I've only fought like 3 people before. Now there's 10,000. I don't think we can take them.
well, Marks, as you know, every NPC in that army each has only 1 hit point.
There's no minion rules in D&D. Anyway. They at least got 3, So But anyway, I'm getting a little bit of tangent. That just reminded me of that one thing. But that's the secret that we usually, if you're a good GM or DM, you do want your players to succeed. So you can be a little bold and brave if it's a cinematic game. If it's like a horror game or something, that's a little different. But even then, you still want your player to succeed to a certain point. You just you want them to be a little scared and threatened.
And there are times when you will be pitted against the GM in some ways. And that's okay. Just make it obvious that it's that type of game where you're going through some grinder and it's going to be a laugh because of all the ways you're going to die, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Level 0
you have to make
gauntlet.
It explicit. Yeah. Level 0 gauntlet. You have to make that explicit. Like, don't be like, hey, get attached to this character. Spend all this time in the backstory. By the way, he's probably going to die in 5 minutes. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Don't do that.
Make it clear. And people surprisingly like those 0 level. I thought people wouldn't like them, but people like them quite a bit.
Well, for me, kind of the issue with the bias aspect of it is like, I mean, it is true. I absolutely want, like, I do not want to kill people's characters off. Though, like, obviously, if you do something stupid, I have to pull that trigger. But the thing is like, I want the story to conclude, but I also would hope that the players are invested enough to pursue it too, right? But like, it's the. I think the issue that you run into is you have to make sure that you, like, I think for me, I have to keep reminding the players that they do have the freedom to do whatever they want, because I sometimes get people saying, well, there's only one choice. Obviously, this is what Woody wants us to do. And yes, I do want you to do certain things. But like, I also point out, like, you have the free choice, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you cannot go to the left. Right. Because a lot of the fun is not knowing what, for me as well, is not knowing what's going to happen. And I do frequently remind the players that, like, you make these choices and we're rolling with it. Like, I'm not, enforcing anything. I mean, if I want something to happen, I'm going to create the circumstances in a way where there's only one choice. But, hopefully you can do that in a way that's subtle. They're not really going to see the rails of it. But yeah, I mean, like,
when we're talking about, we're starting getting railroading a little bit here.
Yeah.
But in that case, I would say, like, not so there's one choice. Make there a couple of choices, just variants. Like, maybe you could charm or talk your way out of it versus killing them, or you need to trick them or something. Yeah. And like in a video game, like Baldur's Gate 3, you have lots of different ways to beat certain threats.
You have even more in like tabletop. Yeah. So just remind me of that. It's a good idea. And also, it sounds, even though you personally, like you said, have a bias of what you want to see happen, you do also have to be impartial to some degree, because if it's just obvious that the GM is just trying to do whatever they can to make sure that they win successfully no matter what, that's not any fun either, right? So you do have to be impartial, but there's nothing wrong with giving hints here and there.
What I really like, or one of the things I really like about Monster of the Week, I know I bring it up a lot, almost as much as riffs.
Oh my God, we have a new drinking game.
I know.
I had to quit drinking.
You have to drink a Monster drink every time I say Monster of the Week.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things I liked about the book, especially, and a lot of PPTA books do this, because they have really great
Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah, Powered by Apocalypse games.
Yeah.
They're really good GM advice, and they really talk about how, like, oh, remember, you're a fan of the players, and you want them to succeed, but you want them to be challenged. You want them to have to work for it and stuff. And they give you soft and hard moves to use. Soft moves to prod them in right directions if they're getting lost or not sure what they're doing. Hard moves if they ignore stuff and they're being silly or something. You hit them with a hard move, and then you got their attention. So I really like how they impart some of that advice. They have a reference sheet just for quick little things to help you out as a GM, which I think is really cool. Which a lot of games don't always do that or take that time to do that. And they are definitely, they make sure you to remember that they're a fan of the players. So. Because I know in high school, sometimes I had GMs who were not a fan of the players.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, I hate those dungeons with stone blocks that come down and crush you to death. And you're dead. That was 50 d6 damage.
That's called Mario.
Yes. Which we may be getting to that one soon. Yeah. So I was hoping to be a more dense topic, but I kind of feel like this one is maybe a shorter episode because it's like. I think or maybe we keep going, but like I kind of think the issue of like the bias is like is it wrong or not, right? And I don't think it necessarily is. Like the GM has the objective that they're trying to achieve. I think the issue in technique probably has more to do with like whether or not you're transparent about it or everybody can tell what you're doing, right? Because like in terms of implementation, and this is just something you have to figure out for yourself. There's no way that we can actually teach you how to do this. But like while you're manipulating events in the world to kind of like steer the direction of the campaign or create, dramatic moments and all these things that you're trying to do to give your players the best experience, like it also needs to be, it needs to feel organic, right? And it has to, obviously you want to take as much motivation from the players' decisions as possible to kind of create that aspect of it. But like, if you're very obvious about what you're doing, then the players can almost telegraph what's going to happen. Like if they know that every major boss fight is going to end with somebody arriving at the last second to save you, that's not fun.
That's a bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I've been in that situation, and like it was a great campaign, but like every boss fight was rigged up that way, and it's like, I realized I could set my watch by it, right? So it's like, you have to have subtlety and good execution with some of these things.
It's a balancing act. It's one of the things that make a good GM versus a not so great GM sometimes is just learning, and it takes time. You got to learn that balancing act. Remember, your fans, these are the protagonists of the story, and your fans are the protagonists. You want to see your heroes be challenged, but ultimately succeed, unless they make really bad mistakes, right? The player, and which is when we say that, usually it's the player is not taking the game seriously or being silly.
If they jump off into a pit of lava, you just say, "Okay, you died."
You did, yeah.
But there is that. Also that tricky balance because it's like you don't necessarily want them. It's kind of like the situation that we were talking about with this player who had, I don't know if it matters the name or not, but like he thought, oh my God, what are we going to do, right? How can we overcome this? But there is a way to overcome it. Like it wouldn't be there if it was it was impossible to overcome the problem. So it's like really it's like it's that persistence and continuing on.
Yeah, that reminds me of another thing is that don't how do you say it? Your plan isn't the only way, right?
Yes. Oh, like, God, yes.
Yeah. So even if they don't do exactly what you plan for them to do to succeed or beat the big baddie, I've even had points where they came up with you've talked about this too, Woody, where someone came up with like this huge conspiracy of how everything interconnects. And you're like, oh my God, I now see it. All this interconnection. You as a GM could just be like, wow, that's better than mine. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the last time we did this, you and I said that in unison. So, see, one of my golden rules is that if you only ever have one solution to a problem, the players will never find it. So you have to be prepared to provide them with that solution. Like if they need this artifact, this key, this weapon, whatever it is, you have to make sure they get it because they will never come up with it on their own. Yeah. But if but if you keep your it open-ended enough and flexible enough that they can invent their own solution, and you will accept any reasonable explanation if it has a chance to succeed, or at least give them the shot at it. It's like if there's and there's various grades of success. You don't success and failure isn't an absolute.
Yeah, it's kind of close, but not really. Okay, roll disadvantage.
Yeah, we'll go for it. Or you can get through that door, but you might bring the wall down.
Yeah. But and then we said must be organic. Don't railroad success for sure.
Yeah,
no one wants that.
And you have to be willing to let them die. Because
as a great man once said, if he dies, he dies.
Well, I had a situation recently. It's probably not really months now, but like one of the players was dealing with this. They had this set of circumstances that had occurred where they had a relatively simple mission that they had overcomplicated, and now there's this font of power going off, and it's going to blow up and cause this thing. One of the players is like, well, mechanically, my character can absorb and redirect magic energy. I should be able to do this. And I basically said straight to the guy, like, this is way beyond anything your character can handle. If you try it, you're going to die. Yeah. So you have to have something in order to use, like something way to consume it, right? So he, of course, does it anyways. And right after we told him he would die, and then I did not want this outcome, but he did. And then he's in the middle of this, and it's like, oh yeah, you're dead now. Like, you were going to die unless you can use the energy somehow. So he literally picks his most expensive spell, which is the one that was the most uncontrollable, most chaotic, and most rage-filled. And so he exploded. There was like, so there was, he blowed up.
He destroyed the whole party.
It wasn't like that, but the destruction was epic. And as it turned out, there was, because of like something that just happened the episode before, he did get to continue in a different body, but that was just absolute dumb luck, right? That had occurred. But it's like, and it took a little thinking to see, can we pull this off, right? But like, in actuality, he just literally walked in there and he's dead. He lost all of his gear, everything was gone.
So do you think he didn't believe you, or do you think he was willing to make that sacrifice for his character for the story to stop it?
See, I don't really want to be on record with my opinion on that.
Because I mean, if you're willing to sacrifice yourself, and that's pretty cool player actually to be able to be willing to do it.
But that wasn't what he honestly thought he could do it. I think. I mean, it's like it is entirely possible that he thought I wouldn't kill his character.
I see.
Right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like
you wouldn't really.
Yeah,
you wouldn't do it.
And that could be. Right. Yeah. It's an interesting question because like I'm amongst my players, it's well known that I'm not just out there trying to kill people, but at the same time, a lot of players have gotten very close, and if they just walk into the jaws of death, well, I can't do anything about that, because like I've one of my greatest mistakes was bringing back a character after he died, and he died because of something stupid that I did as a GM, not because he did anything wrong, right?
I see.
Right. So it was like I brought this character back because I'm the one that screwed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized this lesson, which has influenced everything I've done from that day forward. But by not letting the character die, I also realized that was the moment when RPGs died for this character, for this player.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I lost
no real stakes.
Yeah, I lost him regardless. So that guy's no longer in my group, and I know that I'm the one who did it. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no way to undo that mistake.
That's what I love about Call of Cthulhu. Everybody's really cautious.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my rules. Like, do not, and like, never just throw out a kill shot against a player, like in battle. Like the players can do it. The bad guys should never be just doing automatic kill shots, because sooner or later you get that natural 20. And if your dice are out in the open, you can't walk it back.
And maybe we can have an episode on how to be deadly without killing your players all the time in order to do it. Is probably a good one. Like and that's kind of the role of getting NPCs that they're attached to. I hate to say it, but they're sometimes cannon fodder and for effect, right? So
well, I also have to warn on that one, Greg, because like they're there are things that get people attached and invested, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes it is that NPC, right?
Yeah.
And so I have also seen it happen where players their fun gets destroyed because your attempt to create drama, which you thought would be an interesting plot point,
Yeah.
all you did was like stomped down the very thing that they were excited about. And
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah. Don't do that.
They'll go after
yeah.
their animal companion. Have you seen John Wick?
Yes. So
Yeah.
so like with my
No,
wife,
not that.
for example, she's very proud of her druidness, and she loves animals more than people. And so, like it was very much an understood thing that all of her animal companions had plot armor. You just you do not go after her pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't mean like that. Yeah, obviously not.
Yeah.
But
But
I once had people go against a wizard a high level wizard. They have things like power word kill and a finger
see,
of death. And I'm not going to use that on one of the players,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That'd
See,
just be
see, I
ridiculous.
and to disintegrate, I also think is really like a risky one too, because like
Yeah.
it's a powerful spell, but at the same time, like yes, you can you get dusted, right? So like you
Yeah.
can't if you're dropped to 0 hit points or below in the case of my game, right? But if like whatever that situation is where like you've gone past 0 and you are ticking down on the clock, like can you be saved within a certain time frame? That there's a dramatic stakes there, which now the party has to again split their attention to go save their friend, or do they go continue and like go to that victory, right? And which way does it go? Like these are important elements of the story, but if you're just dusted,
Yeah.
it's
No
like,
one likes
oh
that.
right, I'm dead. I
Yeah.
never had a chance.
Yeah.
Like you. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That really sucks.
No dusting.
Yeah.
No.
No, no
Unless you
dusting.
make
fire
it
and
so
stuff.
obvious that if they do it, they're going to get dusted.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Then
Yeah.
dust on.
Yeah. It has to be their choice.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
hiding, and the big bad
Yeah.
Vecna suddenly appears, and you're like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
level 4, so don't go after it.
So in my Rifts campaign, we had this event where the guys were going into this battle, and a situation where I like one of the players had decided he wanted to play a different character, and he wanted his character to go out like a badass. And I think he understood well enough from the foreshadowing that where they were headed was one of the situations where it probably is going to go that direction, right? And it did. Like there was an enemy that they were fighting that, even though they had a lot of firepower, in reality they weren't in this guy's weight class. And so he saw an opportunity to go out like a badass, and he just, like charges this guy. And then and he's a robot pilot. He charges guy, tackles him away from the party, and suicides and blows up his robot to kill the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Mathematically, he didn't actually have enough energy to like, he didn't have the oomph to actually kill it, right?
Yeah.
But it was such a dramatic moment, like hell yeah, let's do it, So I,
Right.
when he went for it, I'm like, yeah, you took him out, right? And he'd already been beat up, but it was like this guy is like such powerful telekinesis, or like slamming players around, and it was just, one of those. They might as well have been fighting a god. And
They
so
had Critical Role Campaign 3 had a scene like that too. Actually,
Yeah.
with a robot as well.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
was
pretty
that
powerful.
that was the one when fresh cut grass died, right?
Yeah. And it ended up the actor, the voice actor, actually had to go away for a while for a personal reason. So it
Yeah,
worked out.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but apparently nobody knew he was going to go out like that. They
No,
Matt
no.
Mercer had something else in mind.
He was just waiting, like, when can I go? Like, commit
Yes.
suicide,
Can I
destroy
blow up
myself
now?
fighting.
Can I blow up now?
Yeah.
A little goblin comes out. No, not now. Let's find
Well, it was also the same kind of situation because, like, mathematically speaking, that character could not have
Yeah.
succeeded in that scenario, right?
He even said like yeah, that you probably wouldn't have done enough damage, all that kind of stuff. But who the hell cares at that point? Yeah.
Exactly the same situation that I was in, because I got this guy. He's got a robot pilot, and the robot blows up and either kills or cripples this bad guy. But it also like gave him a chance to do this really like heartfelt message to his friends. As his final words that kind of like brought the whole story full circle, right?
Yeah.
Because this guy was playing like the character in the party with the evil alignment, but he was one of those people that can do it like Rick Sanchez, where he's like actually funny about it, and then it kind of makes it weirdly charming, at times. And so So he was a master of playing the lovable rogue kind of character, and then he was able to kind of tie it in like, yeah, you guys made me a better person, was kind of the final message, and so it really worked well. So
Yeah, those are good moments. That's why.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I like those. Those rules. It's
Yeah.
not exactly similar like in Daggerheart, where if you're going to die, you can go out blaze of glory kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's one of those cases we're kind of looping back to our bias topic. Like as a GM, in the bias aspect of it, like you want that, like those big story moments, and so it's okay to help them happen. Like if the player wants to do that and he comes to you and says, I'm going to do this thing, you absolutely should facilitate it, because like the worst thing would be to just trap somebody in a character that they're done with. And that one's tough sometimes, because sometimes you have these players that like you need them to be important to the campaign and they're just not invested in their characters at all, and they're going to play musical characters and stuff. So it's like
It's my twin brother.
Yeah. No, I had somebody like that. It was so frustrating. Like, oh, I just built storyline for you. Yeah, I don't care. And it's like, yeah, that's the last time I ever do it then. Anyways, so.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good wrap.
Yeah.
I think we got a good episode of that. Hey.
So what do you all think about GM bias? How do you show bias? Or do you just like destroy TPK at everybody?
don't ever show it. Yeah.
No, don't show, because that's if you do bend the rules a little bit, give them a little plot armor, help. You can't show it because that's not fun. So
be subtle.
Yeah, be subtle. Let us know how you approach that with your players, or as a player, do you feel like your GM ever has helped you out or not? And
and if you wish they didn't, or if you like that they did.
Yeah. Do you want them not to? Don't mind if they help it, if it helps out the story, or do you not care about story and you just want a really tough?
I play with a Russian guy and he's brutal with the rules. He's just like, if it happens, it happens.
Some players really only care about how tough the experience is. They do not give a flying F about the plot.
That's fine. It's a way to play.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't make it.
It's not really the epic fantasy type thing, but if that's what you want, that's what you want.
It's not very deep. It could be a Shadow Dark thing or a Call of Cthulhu thing, right? So or Mothership or whatever. But yeah, anyway, let us know. What do you think? Do you like GM bias or not? Do you do GM bias at all? Let us know in the comments. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff so we can do more of these episodes. And until next time,
don't
stay
die.
Biased.
Oh, right.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when they crash, it's a belly laugh. Genre play, lighting the way. Our tale